everybody. How are y'all doing today? My name is Monique Turner. I am your purpose expert. Thank you to everyone that has made a decision to say, you know what, let me see if I can get some negative information on ways that I can communicate better. You know, a lot of us go through different struggles when it comes to managing the different relationships in our life. And so here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a platform where I'm able to share a lot of the things that has worked for me and that has worked for my clients that deal with the struggles of bridging the gap between the relationships that they have with either family members, in business, in schools, with kids, and the grocery store. There's so many different people that we encounter daily that, you know, it can get very frustrating when you don't know what headspace they're in. They don't understand where you are mentally. And so when we're not in a good mental state, then most of the times automatically any little thing can be a trigger to you that can cause you to get frustrated. And when we get frustrated, then we respond differently than we would if we wasn't frustrated. And so I want to be able to help you really understand how to manage those emotions using emotional intelligence and having the never personal, always purpose mindset, which is understanding that you don't never have to take it personal, no matter what it is, no matter what someone did to you, what they said to you, what they didn't say, or what they didn't do. You don't have to take it personal, but everything that we endure has purpose tied to it. So when we are grounded and focused on the purpose instead of the personal, what it does is it allows us to maintain our peace. It allows you to continue a healthy mental state of mind. And it's so important to do so, right? It's so important for us to have that mental hygiene. And so if you don't know what mental hygiene is, that is making sure you are taking care of yourself mentally, just as you do your regular hygiene. You put on deodorant, you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you wash your face. So you do everything to make sure your hygiene is up to par. But what about your mental hygiene? Are you doing everything to make sure that your mental hygiene is good? If not, then this is the first step. And so I appreciate you for taking that first step here with me today. Okay. And so what we're going to cover today is just really quick 3 ways that we can communicate in a healthier way. And so I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios and also a couple of different nuggets of information that you can take forward. Okay. And you can apply into your personal or your profession or your business life. So the first one is going to be, we need to avoid arguments, right? If we're communicating with somebody and that communication instantly turns into an argument, then you need to stop. And let me tell you what stop means. Stop means something. All right. So stop means slow for the S, think for the T, open your mind for the O, and process. Okay. So when I say stop, that's what I mean. I want you to slow down, think about it, open your mind, and process the situation. Don't just be so quick to respond, because once you respond, you can't take that back. Now, so even though later you might be feeling like, oh man, I didn't really mean that. I did not want to say that. I apologize. Okay, you can apologize, but you've already said it. So you've already planted that seed in their mind. And so automatically, it's just that is a negative. They have a negative thought when it comes to you. And especially when it's our kids, right? When we get frustrated with our kids and we say mean things to them in that moment because we're frustrated, or because you feel like, you know what, if I say this to you, like, oh, well, you're going to be homeless if you don't get to doing your schoolwork and you don't get to cleaning up. You're going to just be a homeless person, a bum on the streets. It's not a good way to try to push them. And I learned that that's not a good way, because me personally, that is something that I said years and years ago when my mental hygiene was not cleaned out, right? When I had all those ants in my head and just battling with myself, because the mind is the battle and not other people. You know, sometimes a lot of other people like to make other people their problem, when reality is the problem lies within here. And so when we can clear our mind, then we can be clear with everything that we do, we think, and the way that we respond to things. Okay. And so what I want you to know is that we need to make sure that we do and say things that are encouraging to our kids at all times, no matter how mad you get. right? Do not fight fire with fire. Do not do bad with bad, right? When someone is treating you bad, you treat them good. You have to reverse it. We don't need to allow our behavior to be the behavior of other people. That doesn't win. We don't win like that, right? And that's not love. And God is love. So we need to always have a understanding of love, an understanding of being able to communicate using emotional intelligence, right? And so that's what I want you to understand when it comes to the arguments. Don't argue. What, and just think about this. When you do argue with someone, what do you gain from it? What do you gain from having a heated argument with someone? Do you think that, and just think about the percentage of it. Do they see your point of view over 50% of the time? Or does that argument lead to something worse than what it was in that moment? Does that argument now turn into something so much more heated? And so let's talk about with a spouse. Okay, so say you're arguing with a spouse. You guys are having this heated argument, but now if one of you decide to just back away and just say, you know what, I'm not going to do it, then what that does is it allows you all to stop, right? To slow down, to think about it, open your mind and process, why are we arguing? Because can we just communicate this in a different way so that we don't have to have this argument, so that we can get the results that we want? Because it's okay to disagree to agree, right? We don't always have to agree with each other. But I know that sometimes people get very, very frustrated when another person, especially your spouse, doesn't agree with you. Come on, we all have our own individual minds. We all process things differently. And so we can't expect everyone to just agree with us, not even our spouse, right? And so the best thing that you can do, and when you're arguing with your spouse, is to just walk away. Just say, stop. Like right now, honey, let's just stop. Okay, let's slow down. Let's think about it. Open our minds and process this. And we need to take however much time we need to take in doing so that way it doesn't lead to an argument to where one of you are leaving, walking out. Now you're even more mad and angry and frustrated. You just walked out mad, don't know where you're going, don't know what you're going to do. So now then there comes all those insecurities playing in your mind about where your spouse has gone to. Right. And so it just really creates a lot more chaos than it does peace. And what we want to do is we want to create more peace, because when we have peace in our mind, then we're able to just conquer so much more throughout the day, maintain that level of peace that we need, and keep all of our energy, because we only get so much energy throughout the day. All right. So remember, no arguing. When an argument arises, what are we going to do? Stop. Slow down, think about it, open our mind, and process. All right. So that's number one. Number two is going to be, I want you to always communicate your feelings. It's so important to communicate our feelings. See, a lot of times, some of us are raised to where you don't communicate your feelings. When you have those parents, what I say goes. And so if you're that parent to where what you say goes, that's not good. Because you know what I've learned is that I learned a lot from my kids. I have a 23-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And I really learned a lot from them. And I learned a lot from them because I care about the things that they feel. I care about their feelings. I care about their opinion. I care about what they think of what I'm doing within my business. How do they feel about it? How do they want to be a part of it? All those things matter. And even I care so much about their feelings and them being able to grow and be their own unique person, that I have to allow them to make a lot of decisions for themselves. Because see, that's another thing, parents, is that we want to make decisions for our kids, and we want to always tell them what they can and what they can't do, and not allow them to make the decision on what they want to do for themselves. And what I've learned is that allowing your kids to make decisions for themselves, what you're doing is you're allowing them to make mistakes for themselves. So then the mistakes that they make becomes their mistake instead of your mistake. And then it becomes a teachable moment for you to be able to teach them and then give them the knowledge that they need on how to move forward in making that mistake. It's so important, because if your child doesn't never know what it's like to make mistakes as a kid and as growing into a teen and a young adult, then how are they going to feel when they make mistakes as an adult? Are they going to be able to handle it, or are they going to just feel like, wow, this is just the end of the world? I can't deal with it. I can't endure this. I'm going to quit. I have to let go. Right. So then all those different emotions come up, because guess what? They've never been able to work through those different types of emotions growing up, because all of that has been through you. Right. And so that's why, you want to be able to find the balance of caring about your whoever you're in a relationship with your kids, your spouse, your co-workers, your friends, your family. You want to be able to communicate your feelings. And in the process of communicating those feelings, this is number 3, we have to validate each other's feelings. Right. So I don't want to just communicate my feelings to you, and now that I've told you everything, now here it is, you just have nothing to say. You don't care. And I told you my feelings, or I don't like when you leave the window open. And now you say, okay, I'm not going to leave it open anymore. And then the very next day, the window is left open. So it's just like, wow, come on. I just have to keep repeating myself. So it's like, you're not validating my feelings. You're not even respecting what I'm saying to you. You may say that you are, but your actions show me something else. See, an action is everything, right? Because a person can say anything that they want to say out of their mouth. It's really all about the action. What action is it? What are you actually showing me? Right? Because you need to show me, you like they say, right? You could show me better than you could tell me. I'm such a big believer on that. And so it's so important, you guys, to make sure that you are validating whoever you're in a relationship with, whoever is pouring out their feelings to you and telling you something that they don't like and they don't disagree with, that you need to sit back and stop. Slow, think, open your mind and process, what is it about the way that they are feeling right now? How is it that I have impacted those feelings? And how can I now help heal the way that they are feeling right now? What role am I playing in this? And how can I make it better? Because that's what we want to do. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you want to make sure that you're in a healthy relationship, not in an unhealthy relationship, because those unhealthy relationships, all it does is bring so much chaos, confusion, anger, frustration, betrayal, so many different things that's all aligned with negative energy. So in order to keep that positive energy flowing, in order to have the never personal, always purpose mindset, you have to be willing to validate each other's feelings. You have to be willing to communicate the way that you're feeling. You have to be willing to understand that I'm not going to go back and forth and argue with you, because that is not going to get us anywhere. It's actually may send us in a deeper hole than what we already once started out. It will dig us in a deeper hole than the one that we started out with. All right. And so it's so important, you guys. And I just want each of you to know that those are our 3 ways that you can communicate and have a healthier relationship. Because I want you to just think about it. If you're always arguing, how is that healthy? If you're not validating each other's feelings, then how is that healthy? Right? Because now I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. You have that whole I don't care attitude, because you feel like, why should I care if my feelings are not being validated? And then if you're not even communicating your feelings, you're not giving the other person the opportunity to care about the way that you feel, because all you're doing is you're keeping it buried deep down inside. And what that's going to do, you're going to be like a ticking time bomb. You're just going to explode one day. And we want to avoid you from exploding, especially when you can go ahead and voice how you're feeling day in, day out. All right. And really, you guys, let me tell you something. These are just a small nugget of ways to communicate, small nuggets of ways that you can bridge the gap between you and your boss, your spouse, your family, your friends, your kids. Communication is key. And when we learn how to communicate in a healthy way, then I'm telling you, it will allow your relationship that was once a gap, it will allow it to come full force together. And so that gap that was apart is now together, because now you guys are respecting each other. Respect is so important when it comes to relationships. And when we respect each other, then we're able to grow together. All right. So thank you all so much for um, watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. I have so many more videos that are about to roll out soon. And so I look forward to all of you continuing to be a part of our Never Personal, Always Purpose mindset. It is more than a brand, it is a mindset. And when we understand that we don't have to take everything personal, but there's a purpose to all that we endure, it just allows your head to be clear, your mind to be free, and for you to be able to go out in the world and conquer all the different things that you have visioned and that you have dreamed for without worrying about all the negative things that are to come, because you're not worried about it now, because in your mind, it's never personal. It's always purpose. So you're not worried about who's going to tell you no, who's not supporting you, who's not coming to your event, who's not showing up for your birthday party, who didn't send you a gift. You're not worried about any of those things because you understand that it's never personal. It's always purpose. All right. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.